What's going on, Guitar Corner friends? We've got the Baritone guitar today. This is an acoustic, but it's tuned down to B, E, A, D, F sharp B, and it gives it a nice low tone. We'll play a little something, we'll chat about it. This thing's really cool because things that you'd think an A minor chord, just a little lower, would still sound about like an A minor chord, but takes on a whole different tone and color and vibe and world. So let's try some. That little four and open together. Gotta love that bass string. It's kind of like you're playing bass and guitar at the same time. Now I mess it up. A. There's those little dyads again. I'm just doing 7th fret. 8th fret on 2nd string and 6th string. Check out how the harmonics sound. Those are almost bass riffs. About $300. It's an Alvarez, no endorsements, none of that. It's just fun. I think I got it from probably Sweetwater. But these are really, really fun, and it's a great way. We talked about this before. If you're trying to kind of write or work on something, or you're stuck, you've hit a wall, you're in a plateau, playing guitars in different tunings is helpful, but also completely different guitars. I think I did one of these with that little requinto, which is tuned up a 5th higher. This is tuned a 5th lower. It's just a nice way to kind of get yourself out of the lane you're getting comfortable with. You don't want to get too many driving that get those ruts dug in too much. Beginner's mind. So yeah, it's a really fun thing to have. I put this on a few different recordings, mostly just film and TV stuff. I haven't figured out a way to use it for the band yet, mostly because if I take out any more guitars on the road, my incredible TM Tyler's gonna murder me in my sleep. But it's just really fun. You can really play even the same things that you're used to on an acoustic, and they come out so different with that being just a little bit lower. It's got a really nice full tone. Anyway, thanks for your patience, everybody. I know it's been a little bit since we've done this. The last few days I've been rehearsing with the band. We leave tomorrow. Got a 14-hour drive to Miami. We're back on the road. First time in 18 months. I don't even know what to do. I don't even know how to pack. I got to get my sea legs back. We've got about 18, 19 high schools we're doing with Funding the Future. And then we're playing Rockwood Hall in New York City on, I think it's November 8th. And it's stage B. So yeah, we're really, really, really excited. Not doing any meet and greets on this one because we got to keep everybody safe. But yeah, so I've been rehearsing with the band the last few days, and I was in Los Angeles for a week, and I'm sorry, I should have shot something out there, and we could have hung out a little bit, but we were working. Our guy, we played out there, Carter Halsey and Aaron O'Neill and I, and had such a good time. But our man Mike G, who I run Kingdom 2, my publishing company with, and we do a lot of film and TV music, production music and things. And he won Trailer of the Year it's called the Mark Award. So it's like, music for production music libraries and stuff. And that's a competitive field right there. I didn't even try to mess with the trailer stuff these last few years. Mike took it. So big up to Mike G, man. He's the most kind, wonderful. Some of you may have met him out on the road. He actually went out with us on the drums. He tour managed us up in Canada back in the day. But Mike is just an incredible genius, and I tell you, seeing his studio setup is it's like the Matrix, just a million computers running together, making magic out of his place in Woodland Hills, California. But yeah, I'm back on this. I packed a little battery-powered amp. It's in the trailer right now, going on tour with me. So I will definitely be talking to you from the motel rooms in America, and we'll hang out. We'll keep playing. I did want to do. I wanted to talk quickly today about. I know we got it kind of heavy last time into the whole like making sure that we're not chasing things that aren't us. I wanted to talk a little bit about self-doubt today, and I don't think there's any of us that are. I don't think any of us are without have beat it. And as a matter of fact, so my man Wade says sometimes, he goes, you know who? God, I should no pedal today, so I should have turned the amp off first. He said, you know who always likes their stuff? Hacks. And I think that's so right on. I think I'm always amazed when I read these rock and roll bios, or I get to run into somebody that I really respect out on the road. You find out that, you know, nobody ever fully beats it. And I think that little worry of, man, am I doing my best work, or is anybody going to like it? Some of that self-doubt, if that's used productively, if that's used, I don't know, I guess, I don't want to say creatively. I think those of us that are going to live in this world, we know that sometimes inspiration comes, sometimes it doesn't. You have to kind of build, I think, a life for yourself where you can cut space, even if it's just an hour a day. You don't have to quit your day job and do this big, heavy, I'm going to do my screenplay, I'm going to make the greatest record ever. Even if you're just cutting a little time each day to work, the creativity will come. But so I think will the self-doubt. And I got a buddy of mine who just made a really beautiful record. And it's funny, he got to that place, he sent it off to mastering. It's a pretty well-known mastering place. And he got it back and he's like, oh my God, it's terrible. I think it sounds like demos. And it doesn't. It sounds amazing. It sounds even a little bit more amazing with mastering. But I wonder if it wasn't, if he's not going through what I went through. I did a record a few years back where it was the only time I didn't master it myself in the last few years. And there's always something good to somebody getting another set of ears on it. Same with having an editor for a book. You got to get somebody else to check it out. But he said that he felt like he just was hearing it. You get in this place where you run yourself up against a wall. You've gotten too close to it. You've worked on it really hard. And I think a lot of times when we send stuff off, we think that last pass is going to be like, a big change. I paid Oasis Mastering like $2,000 out in LA back in the day because I was like, oh, I got to have this mastering guy, on my record. It's going to make it like all the other big records. And it really, no disrespect to Oasis, they're amazing, but I did a little test with Mike G, actually. I had him come over and I A-beat it with how we had mastered it, and we were having a hard time figuring out which was which. So it really wasn't, and I'm not I'm not patting us on the back so much as just saying, garbage in, garbage out, or if something's really great, you can take it a couple extra %, but it's not going to change it drastically. And so I told my friend, I was like, man, I think, did you maybe expect this company to, like it was going to be this whole different thing? And instead you're hearing what you've gotten used to. Those of us that hadn't heard the record, we're not used to it. So it explodes. It's 3D. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. But I think what we talked about is it's part of the process, part of that letting go. And some people never let go. And maybe some of you out there, I used to get in this place where you're just like, you get so close to it, you're like, it's never done. It's like the Guns N' Roses or the Axl Rose, 12 years or whatever it was, 15, I don't know what it was, to put out Chinese Democracy. You get in that place where you get too close to it. My friend Wade and I always talk about this all the time. It's like, sometimes you just got to go quick, just down and dirty, get it done and let it go. Because some of those rough edges are what people love. And also, if you beat the life out of it, I think my friend with this record, and I'll talk to him, he'll probably let you know who it is. He's very self-effacing and funny and wonderful. But if he's okay with me telling you who it is, I want you to listen to his record because it's absolutely gorgeous. But I guess what I wanted to say today, finally, the point is, I would imagine all of us have our different, and no matter what level of player you are, you're somebody that could probably run rings around everybody, but there has to be a day where you're like, oh, this is what I'm doing worth it. Or maybe you're incredible, but we're in the music business. Maybe there's not a lot of money coming in, whatever thing it is. Or maybe you're like, I don't enjoy this like I used to. I know, again, there's hobbyists that are just starting. They're having more fun than those of us that have made this our lives and we're absorbed in it because it's just exciting to discover something new. So that's why we say beginner's mind. I want to make sure at all levels that we're realizing that this still should be fun, no matter where we're at. If you make a great living from music, if you make nothing, you just do it a little bit each night, let's not lose the joy of it. And if you have self-doubt, step away from it for a little bit. because sometimes just that little break from it, I think it's really important to and I think I said this in the very first one of these little guitar corners. Dave Grohl said there are no guilty pleasures. Just love what you love. There is nothing wrong with looking up to someone else and their playing and being inspired by the playing. You know, you get these guitar players who go, I don't listen to anything. I know what Eddie Van Halen said once. I mean, Eddie Van Halen could say anything he wants when he was, you know, guitar god. But it was like, I don't listen to any other players. I don't want it to affect my, you know, whatever. That's not where I'm from. I think it's good. It's good to be jealous. It's good to be like, oh my God, how'd you do that? If you're mad that somebody's great, then that's probably I've been in that place where I'm like, oh, that song's so good. It's like, man, you're probably in a weird place if you're not happy for somebody doing well. But if you can get in that place where it's that good jealousy, Daniel Lewis, one of my favorite producers, always said that. He's just like, I like to be upset by how great something is. That you could think that that'll cause more self-doubt, but I actually find that gets you out of your head. It gets you out of analyzing, you know, the same. Maybe you're in a bit of a rut. I've been in a rut lately playing U, E, C, and B, I think. Well, I just realized that. But I think if you could get to a place where something really inspires you, and that's going to be my show and tell for the day, is you get maybe even something that's completely away from the genre you're playing. I do that with books. If I'm only reading fiction or I'm only reading rock bios or whatever, I try to kind of give myself a little something different. And it sort of breaks that chain. I find that self-doubt can go away when we get curious, when we get, no matter what age you are, when you get in that childlike place, that excitement of doing something. And just don't forget to be grateful. I do this in my little journal sometimes. I'm like, I'm in a bad mood, or the coffee's not kicking in the morning, and I got a bunch of stuff to do. I'm like, man, realize how lucky we are. I mean, half the world doesn't have enough to eat, and we're over here talking about music all night. Like, this is amazing. I remember one time, this is going to sound hippy-dippy, but when I first moved to Los Angeles, they were doing this like free yoga up on the hill. And I go up there, and the guy was like, maybe you've been stressed. Maybe you've had a very, very tough time. I don't know how hard it could be since we're doing yoga on a Tuesday morning, for crying out loud. I thought it was so great. It broke the whole thing. Like, sometimes that self-doubt is because we're not only being too hard on ourselves, but we're getting a little too precious about what we're doing. This still should be fun. So don't worry. If we fall flat on our face, I played a thing. It was the Heart of Texas Music Festival. It was during South by. And Adam Brewer, man, big up to Adam Brewer. He used to book Billy and Jesse and I down there all the time. We were on this festival stage. It was, oh God, I can't believe I'm forgetting the band. What is wrong with me? It'll come back to me. I was so excited to go. I remember the tour manager for one of the other bands was like, all knobs to the right, like, let's go, you know, turn everything up, total Spinal Tap moment. I ran out there and my cable caught I landed flat on my face. The telly smacked down feedback. I mean, the most embarrassing thing ever. Like in a dream, you had those dreams where you're like naked or you don't have any of your gear and you're supposed to be there and you're late and everything is wrong. I completely wiped out in front of a festival stage full of people. And I got up, and thankfully I came up with my, whatever the silly one-liner quip. I think I said something like, well, it can't get any worse than this. It's all downhill from here. Let's rock and roll, let's play. But I mean, I don't even remember what the first song sounded like. I was so embarrassed, just terrified. But you know what? Nobody killed me. And it wasn't over. I played 1,000 other gigs. The van didn't explode. The band didn't, I wasn't fired. Everything was fine. I think it's Seth Godin said this. What's on the other side of fear? Nothing. What's on the other side of self-doubt? You putting out your material. Artists ship. That's another thing he says. Artists ship. Until you've finished it, whatever it is you're working on. You don't have to be making records. But until you've got it, maybe you're just trying to learn your first scale or your first few chords. Until you got some calluses, you haven't reached that place. So don't give up on it. Just go through it blind. Say you could drive your car from New York City to Los Angeles in the dead of night with just a little bit of headlights. Just have faith that if you're putting in the time, the Malcolm Gladwell Outliers, 10,000 hours, whatever it is you're supposed to put in to be an expert at something, I guarantee if you're putting in the time, you're getting better even if you don't see it. So screw all that self-doubt, forget all that stuff. Speaking of records, I'm gonna close this up. I got 2 records to tell you about. One is mine. Our record Brand New Ghost came out on Friday. Check it out. It's on Spotify, it's on Apple, it's all over the place. The last few records I made during the quarantine were all like external forces. They were all the craziness of the world. This one's more internal. It's more definitely more personal. Hopefully leave some more room for the listener to put themselves in it. I mentioned on a couple of these, I had a bad few years with losing family members, and it's been been a very you tend to go inside a little bit, and I think I mentioned on maybe the last one that I'm kind of going through my dad and my grandparents' stuff because a lot of it was at the same place, and so this is definitely one of those making all of you the shrinks record. It's a real it's a soul searching thing. But there's some funky stuff on it. The band's playing the stuff great. We're doing a track called "Drown in the River" that starts the record. We're doing it live, a rock version. I'm so excited. Erin, of course, with her 5-octave range and brilliance and operatic magic, she's stunning on the whole thing. But the other record I want to mention, I found this. This is my show and tell. I don't know. I think probably all of you have seen that show. It was groundbreaking. It was like The Sopranos was groundbreaking, and then Breaking Bad came along on a low budget and wasn't even going to get picked up, and it's incredible. I love Dave Porter, who scored it. I actually went to a UCLA night class when I was living in LA just to soak up the Thomas Golubic music supervising magic, to learn about it. He music supervised this. There's some amazing songs. We found out that our friends Craig and Donna Morris, actually a track they did back in the day is one of the tracks on here. But anyway, it's a double record set. It's so fun. I can't wait to watch the whole show again. I'm watching Squid Game right now, thanks to Aaron. Oh man, that thing is incredible. I'm like one episode in. I paused. I was so inspired and excited and mad. It's like the perfect metaphor for like greed and unchecked capitalism and craziness. It's really good. So yeah, Squid Game is the jam. If you haven't seen Breaking Bad, that's the jam. The show Hacks on HBO. I watch a little bit of that, and it's wonderful. Gene Smart is a national treasure. All right, this isn't film and TV review. It's Guitar Corner. I hope you got something out of this. Let me know. Let me know how you put down self-doubt. Let me know how you deal with that stuff. And we'll keep the music coming, and we'll keep the ideas coming. And thanks to, once again, Jason Coker, Chief Justice. He gave me a great one. I think the next one I'll probably do from down in Miami is going to be imitation versus inspiration. So tune in a few days. I love y'all. Bye.